Hi guys, good morning. I'm not going to be in class this morning because I've got a meeting to go to, but I will be back before we go to lunch, okay? So today we're working on lesson 19, day 2. So make sure you're paying attention because you've got your check-ins tomorrow, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and get started. First, we're going to start with our new concept review. So first, let's review our vowels. There are 5 vowels. How many? 5. Very good. A, E, I, O, and U. All 5 of these are vowels. The long sound is the vowel's name, okay? So today we're going to practice reading and spelling words with all 5 vowel sounds. The short vowel, A, spells A like at the beginning of the word apple. The short vowel A spells A like in apple, okay? But remember, we've also learned that A also makes that whiny eh sound when it stands next to M or N because it doesn't like the letter M or N. Okay? All right, we also know the short vowel I spells I like at the beginning of the word itchy. O, the short vowel O, says ah like at the beginning of the word octopus. E has the short sound eh like at the beginning of the word edge. U has the short sound like at the beginning of the word up. So all of those vowels here, all of these are relaxed muscle sounds. Everyone say relaxed muscle sounds. Good. So that means that when we make those sounds with our mouths are nice and loose, and so they're easier for us to make and they're more relaxed, okay, when we make those short vowel sounds. So let's say them together. A, I, Very good. All of those are short vowel sounds. So let's read some of these words together. Here we go. Rainbow hands up. Here we go. Oh, look ahead. If you see the A standing next to N, the A is going to go whiny. So let's try it. And can. What word? Can. Good. Try this one. G. At. Get. What word? Get. Good. Try this one. D. Id. Did. What word? Did. Like, did you do your homework? Try this one. Ought. Not. What word? Not. Try this one. Cut. What word? Cut. Very good. So we're done with our new concept review. So what do we say? Check. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to our word work. So this would be a perfect time to go ahead and pause the video so you can go ahead and get your blending mats. I've got mine thankfully right here. So we're going to be spelling some words together. Now remember, these boards are for us to not play with. They're for us to practice. And remember, practice makes permanent. Good. So the first word that we're going to spell together is the word bet. What word? Bet. Good. So let's use our rainbow hands and figure out how many sounds are in the word. Ready? B. At. How many sounds do you hear in that word? 3. So there's going to be how many letters? 3. So let's break it apart piece by piece and figure out those letters. Here we go. B, B, B. What letter? B. Make sure it's a B and not a D, okay? So grab your letter B. Bat before your ball. All right, let's keep going. Bet. Ready? B. What letter goes E. We just learned that this past week. We're going to grab our letter E and move it up top. All right, let's keep going. B. What letter? T. That last letter is letter T. So grab it and put it last. So we have 3 letters. We just need to check and make sure that what we have is what we need. What was our word again? Bet. Good. So let's check it and make sure that this is what we need, okay? Bet. Bet. Is that the word that we needed? Absolutely. All right, so now we're going to change this word from bet to bat. What word? Bat. Now, in order to change this word, let's take a look at what we have so far. Maybe we can still reuse these letters. Let's check it. The word that we need is bat. What word? Bat. So let's check. B. Is that the first sound that we need? So we can keep it there. B. Ah. Oh no. That letter right here does not make the ah sound. What letter makes the ah sound? Tell me. A does. A makes that ah sound. So send your letter E back home and grab your letter A and put it up top in the middle. All right, so let's keep checking our word to see if this is what we need, okay? Ready? Bat. B. At. Bat. Is that the word that we needed? It certainly is. So all we did was change the middle vowel sound. That's it, okay? All right, so now we're going to change that vowel again. Is everyone ready? All right, so let's change that vowel again. What if we change this middle vowel sound from ah to ah? Don't say it. If you know what it is, just say it in your brain. And whoever the sub is or Miss Frazier will call on one person. And so this is a great time to pause the video. Think about that vowel sound, that middle vowel sound that is needed to make the word. If I change that middle vowel from ah to ah, what would the new word be? This is what I have. All right, so let's try it out. Here we go. Bought. Bought. What word? Bought, like a robot, right? Robot. All right, last one, and then we'll stop. The next word that we're going to do, we're going to change the last sound in the word, okay? What are we changing? The last sound. Remember, if we change the middle or the last sound, or both, then we don't have any rhyming words anymore, right? But if we keep the middle and the last sound, then we can make rhyming words. So let's go ahead and change that last sound from t to g. Don't say what the new word is, just keep it in your brain. But this is a perfect time to pause the video and have one student decide what this word says, okay? But now that one person has already said the word, let's go ahead and read it together so we can break it apart piece by piece. Ready? B-a-g. Bog. What word? Bog. Very good. Bog. All right, so now that we're done, I want you to send all of your letters back home, nice and neat. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just make sure that they're back in their places, and then pass your boards to the person in front of you with 2 hands. Make sure to do this quickly, but not too fast that you drop your board. All right, so we're done with our word work. So what do we say? Check. If you need to pause the video, feel free to pause the video so you can put the blending boards away. All right, so now we're going to move on into our irregular words. You know the drill. We do our review first, and then we might have a new heart word. So let's take a look. All right, so what word is this? A. Not only is A a letter, but it's also a word. So whenever A is in a sentence, he could be a lowercase a and say, I am A. Or A can also be a capital. It could be an uppercase A at the beginning of a sentence. And he can also say, I am A. Good. All right, so what word is this? Is. Remember that I makes that I sound and the S makes that Z sound. Is. Is. That S is the heart sound. The next word, what word is this? As. What word? As. It's just like the word is, but the only difference is we're changing that first vowel. Okay, that's it. As. What word? Good, as. All right, what's this word? Said. Very good. The S says its sound, but the A and the I are the heart sound. Okay, they are going to make the same sound as E does, making that eh sound, and D makes it sound D. Said. Said. What word? Said. Good. Try this one. Two. You guys know this one. T-O-2. T-O-2. Oh, what is this word? Do. Again, all we did was change the first letter in that word. That's it. That first letter and the first sound. But we still have the word do. What word? Do. Ooh, this one's still tricky. What word is this? Of. Guys, don't forget this word, okay? Both of those letters are heart sounds. We have to remember by heart that the O makes the same sound as U and F makes the same sound as V. So it goes of. What word? Of. All right, so this would be a great time for you to pause the video and then you can have a couple of students come up and spell some of those words that we just went over. Maybe 2 or 3 students, but that's it. All right, so we do have a new heart word that we're going to be learning today. So make sure you're sitting crisscross applesauce, hands in your lap, your eyes are on me, your ears are listening, and your lips are zipped so you can really keep the end in mind and get ready for first grade. So let's take a look and see what new heart word we have. This, if you already know it, say it in your brain. Don't say it out loud because some of our friends have never seen this word before. But this word is the word see. What word? See. Like I will see my mom today. See, okay? So what happens is the S says its sound, but then these 2 E's right here, it's a heart sound. The way that I like to remember is anytime that those E's need to make that long E sound is those 2 E's, they like to ride the roller coaster together and they like to go E. Okay, they're really excited, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna sing our heart word song together, okay? So follow along, here we go. There was a sight word of the day and C was our sight word. S-E-E. S-E-E, S-E-E, and C was our sight word. What word is that? C, very good. So this is a great time for us to come up and do our word C together. So if we think about it, C, what letter? S, of course. Go ahead and do your letter S. And if you'd like, just kind of keep the kids on the carpet with their writing tablet so they can practice writing this word. So C, S, E, what 2 letters? E, E, good. Stay under that fence, 2 E's, C. All right, and if you need a little bit of time to allow the kids to write this word, feel free to pause the video at any time, but this is the word C. All right, so we're done with our regular words. So what do we say? Check. Now it's time to go on into our connected text. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna break this sentence apart piece by piece. We're gonna be looking for heart words and any of those new concept rules that we learned this week. Now this week we learned about the letter E and how it makes the sound eh, but we're also reviewing all of our vowels that we've learned all this year so far, okay? We learned about the letter A making the A sound. We learned about the letter E making the E sound, about the letter I making the I sound, the letter O making the A sound, and the letter U making the sound. So we're going to be looking for those vowels, but we're also looking for heart words as well. So let's take a look. Heart word or new concept? Heart word, what word is that? The, very good. Heart word, New concept. New concept because we've got that letter U here, and we know that U makes the sound. Good. Heart word or new concept. Heart word, what word is that? Is. Good. Make sure you're staying with us and you're not going ahead of us because our class is a family and we don't leave anyone behind. All right, heart word or new concept? New concept because we see that letter O and we know that O is going to make that sound, right? Heart word or new concept? New concept because we have that vowel A and we see when A sits next to M, it's going to go whiny because he doesn't like letter A, okay? All right, or he doesn't like the letter M, excuse me. So we're gonna start here and we're gonna take it piece by piece. Now, if you already know what this sentence says, that's great, keep it in your brain. But remember, we are working at a steady pace, okay? So let's read it together, here we go. The bug. What word? Bug. Let's read it again. The bug is on. What word? On. Go back. The bug is on Pam. What word? Pam. Let's go back. The bug is on Pam. One more time. The bug is on Pam. Very good. So we just took that piece by piece, and when we read from left to right, top to bottom. Good. All right, let's look at our next sentence. Doing the same thing here again, looking for heart words and new concepts. So let's take a look. Heart word and new concept. New concept. What letter is it? I. And what sound is I gonna make? Good. Try this one. Heart word or new concept? New concept. Because that letter I, again, that vowel is what we're working on this week. It's going to go Heart word, new concept. New concept. That letter O is going to make the sound. How about this one? Heart word or new concept? New concept. Letter O is going to make that sound. See, all of those vowels, they keep showing up, okay? All right, try this one. Heart word or new concept? Heart word. What word is that? The. Very good. Heart word or new concept? New concept. What sound? What letter? E, and it's going to go Good. All right, so let's start from the beginning. Remember, if you already know this, say it in your brain, but everyone needs to say it together. Here we go. Let's break it apart piece by piece. Tim. What word? Tim. Did. What word? Did. Let's go back. Tim did ought not. What word? Not. Go back. Tim did not mop. What word? Mop. Go back. Tim did not mop the den. What word? Den. Good. Let's go back. Tim did not mop the den. What does that say? Good. Tim did not mop the den. So he must have forgotten to mop the den. All right, so for this next sentence, feel free to pause the video, have one student come up, and have them break it apart piece by piece, okay? All right, this would also be a great time to go ahead and pause the video and have some of the students come up. One of the sentences that you can do is you can write the sentence, the cub is sad. What is the sentence? The cub is sad. So you can pause the video now, have the students come up and write that sentence, okay? All right, so for the decodable text, this is the part that you guys usually do during your small group. So we'll get into that during our small group time, okay? All right, so you're done with your connected text. So what do you say? Check. So we are all done for this morning. Miss Fraser is going to pick, or the sub is going to pick someone that was on their very best behavior, and whoever deserves to be UFLI, okay? I will be back later on this morning. I hope to get a good report. I love you guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye.